Hello and a really warm welcome to our induction video for Sidmouth Primary School. My name is Claire Fegan and I'm the head of school here. We know that your child starting at primary school is a really exciting time, but it can also be a really daunting time and you're bound to have lots of questions. Normally we would like to meet you in person, but the current situation makes that really difficult. So we wanted to make this video to be able to answer some of your questions and reassure you and explain what the next few weeks is going to look like in terms of our support for you and your child being ready for September. Some of you will be joining us at the Vicarage Road site and others of you will be joining us at Manstone Avenue. Whichever of those your child is joining, Sidmouth Primary is one big family, and everything that we'll be discussing in this video and the sessions which we'll introduce today apply to the children whichever of those two sites they'll be working on. So our normal induction process to get you and your children ready for school has had to be obviously completely redesigned this year so that we're moving as much as we can to still be able to do it, but to do it in a virtual or digital way instead. So I wanted to explain some of the things we've put in place to try and help you feel welcome as new members of our school community. So the first thing to say is if you visit our school website, you'll spot that there is a page that's called New Starters Reception 2020, and on there we will try and put all of the information that we are sending in any other way. The second thing is that we've set up a new email address, and the details of that will be in your new starter pack, which will be coming shortly. That means that you can email us and get a quick response from the right people if you have specific queries around your child starting school. I also wanted to reassure you that one of the things we normally do at this time of year is to go and visit any of the preschool settings that we have children coming to us from. And although it's difficult for us to visit those settings at the moment, the staff here are making every effort to talk to the staff in those preschools and nurseries, wherever they may be, to get as much information as we can about your children, to find out what makes them tick, what their strengths are and what their needs for development are as well. Normally, at this point, we would be having 2 or 3 stay and play sessions where your children and you are able to come and visit us in school. And in place of that, we have set up a scheme, a programme I suppose, called Sidmouth Adventurers. We want to try and give your children a sense of belonging and a sense of community together. And the brilliant reception and teaching staff have put together 4 sessions for your children. They're all based on story and rhyme, and for each session there is a story which one of the teaching staff is recording, and then some activity ideas. There's absolutely no obligation to do those activities, but we thought it might help you to keep a focus for the next few weeks, and one of those will be released each week until the end of this school term. If your child does do any of the activities, or if you'd like to share anything with the teachers from those sessions, please do email photographs or videos to the New Starter email address. On Friday the 10th of July, there'll be an opportunity for your children to have a Zoom video call meeting with their new teacher. That'll be an opportunity for them to see some of the other children that will be in their class and to get to know the teacher that they'll be working with too. Again, we'll send lots more details, including timings and an invitation to that video call, which will be password protected for the children's safety. The following Friday, on the 17th of July, we're very much hoping to be able to invite your children into school, and they'll come and spend a short amount of time with their new teacher. They'll be working outside of the school building just to keep everybody safe and to keep everything in line with guidance, and they'll be encouraged to socially distance, but it does mean that they can meet their teacher in person and at least get a sense of the school building from the outside and some of the play space that they'll be getting very used to too. In terms of September, it's very difficult for us to tell you the fine details of what the induction for our new children might look like, because you'll be aware that we are still waiting for clarification on that from the government. Those details are due with us this week, and as soon as we know that and we can make a plan for September, we will get that information to you as soon as we can. One of the things that parents often ask is if there's anything they can be working on over the summer to support their child to be ready to start school. And there are a few things that we always give parents as top tips. So one of the things that we suggest is really useful for us for you to have worked on is your child's independence. And when we say independence, we mean with things like putting their own coats on, with things like eating, with things like tidying and toileting. The second thing we often say is probably the most important thing you can do is to foster in your child a positive attitude to school so that they're feeling like they're really looking forward to starting with us. And that can be to do with getting hold of storybooks that are about children or characters starting school. The library service has lots of books that they'll recommend for that, and there's loads on Amazon too. Listening skills, really useful and really important to practice ahead of your child starting school. That can be to do with practicing quiet time, practicing an indoor voice, and following instructions, 2 or 3 part instructions, all really useful things to practice. Sometimes parents are really keen to get going with more academic skills, so things like recognising their own name or children being able to write their own name. Please don't worry about your child being able to write their own name. That's absolutely something we can work on with them, and it means that we can teach it them in line with our letter formation and the phonics that we're practicing already. But teaching your children to recognise their own name when it's written for them is a really good skill, and it means that they'll be able to find their book bag during the day and recognise their name when it's on labels and clothes and things. The final thing that we always say to parents all the way through primary school is please do find time, if possible, to share stories and rhymes with your children. It's one of the things that research shows has a really huge impact on children's academic and long-term success. So if you can find time to read with or read to your child, that would be really appreciated.
When looking at planning and provision for the children, we tend to plan our themes or look at our themes in a very general way. So for example, one of our recent topics was making choices and solving problems. This allowed for us to plan and provide for such activities based upon a book which was called Stuck, where the children had to come up and with ideas to rescue or get the kite out of the tree. Or it also allowed them to think of their own problems and work together following their own interests and going in the direction that they wanted to take it as well. Right. Finally, we very, very much try and help the children acquire what we call the characteristics of effective learning. Right? And these are called playing and exploring, which is all about engagement and finding out, and being willing to actually have a go and have a try. Then the next one is called active learning, which is about motivation. It's about being involved and concentrating, persevering if it gets stuck, and actually enjoying what they want to do. And then the last area is creating and thinking critically, and that's all about their thinking skills, having their own ideas, making links and choosing ways to do things, which, as you can see, was very much linked to our topic that we did that I was talking about earlier. Part of trying to encourage and instill in the children characters of effective learning is all about what we call generally in school learning behaviours, and a part of that we implement the school-wide behavioural system, which is based loose, well, ours is kind of adapted, which is more suitable to their age. So all children, we expect to start off on any day or any session as being ready to learn, right? Then if a child is really engaged, coming up with an ideas, really focusing, then they get a praise, which is well done, and a recognition that a sticker, because obviously young children love stickers, especially shiny ones. If they go over and above that, they might have a wow, which is a praise note. So your teacher will send home a note at the end of the day telling you something that your child did really special that day. They might also reach this, which is amazing, and that's when they are sent to, or a senior leader gets in touch with them, and they talk about their work and what they've done well, and then they get a special certificate that goes home as well. Now obviously we have a system, this is our system of rewards and encouragements and praise. We also have a system of sanctions, but we don't like to go down this side, and as you can see these two are not very well used at all. Alright, so if your child is engaging in kind of not the right thing to do, they will get a warning, okay? And actually they will get several warnings if they persist they have to have some time out. This often is to allow them to actually regulate their behaviour, calm down if they're quite excited or cross, but it's also a time where they can reflect on what their behaviour was and what they need to do to change it. For that, we actually use this timer here, okay, which is a 3-minute timer, and they have to watch the sound go down, and it's a very good visual reminder and when that time has ended, so that they can see that time passing. And also it gives them something to focus on visually, which quite often distracts from any kind of cross feelings they're having, or helping them to calm down as well. Right, it's all a bit strange because I can't have any questions and answers at the moment because I'm doing this by video, but I do know that you will have a chance to ask and answer questions in a different session. All right, okay, I hope that explains a little bit about the curriculum in Sidmouth Primary School in reception. Thank you, bye.
Hello, I'm Miss Brown. I'm now going to talk to you about what the school day is going to look like, what the school year is going to look like, and how we communicate with you as parents. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about how the school day works. So in reception, we learn through play, or it's sometimes called choosing time, whereby the children choose from activities linked to the class teaching. We also teach the children in either whole class carpet sessions, small group direct teach sessions, or one-to-one. The children will engage in many different carpet sessions like finger gym, which is really good for their hand muscle strength, where we dance and move our fingers to music, using Play-Doh as well sometimes. We have PE lessons, letter formation sessions, phonics where they learn how to read and write, different story sessions as well, and obviously the maths and the topic teaching that goes alongside it. Also, we do attend whole school assemblies, which gradually increase throughout the year when we feel they're ready to attend more. So next I'm going to talk about what the year will look like in reception. So through the course of the year, the children have the opportunity to engage in many activities, including different trips, the Christmas nativity, sports day, church assembly visits, alongside many other opportunities and experiences. In the past, the children in reception have visited the local library, the zoo, the farm for a really special Christmas live nativity, the beach, and others as well. And we try and use the local area as much as we can and utilise that in our planning, and then give the children those experiences for real life. In the school year, we have 3 different terms. We have the autumn term, the spring term, and the summer term. So autumn term will be predominantly focused on settling them in, getting them used to all the new routines in school, socialising with their peers, forming those close friendships with the children and the grown-ups in their classroom. And we also make our teacher assessments for them, so then we can tailor their learning to meet where they are. And then springtime, the children will feel much more settled. So we start to progress the children towards their personalised learning targets. And then in the summertime, this is mainly about activities such as sports day, preparing them for year 1, and just addressing any gaps that we need to as well. Finally, I'm going to talk about communication. So we feel that parent-teacher communication is a really important aspect of creating a homeschool link. So we have an open door should you wish to talk to us about anything. We also have parent workshops whereby you can come into school and see a particular part of your child's learning. For example, we've done a phonics one where parents have been able to watch the teacher teaching a phonics session, so they can understand how their children learn. And then we also have a parents' workshop that goes with that, without the children, so you can hear from us in the evening about what we were doing and how you can then support your child best at home. We have lots of different curriculum evenings as well throughout the year, and have a autumn and spring parents' evening where you can meet with the teacher and talk about how they're getting on, which I think is really important. In the autumn terms, you can hear how they're settling and what they've been up to. And then at the end of the year, we also have the end of year report, so you see what they've been doing in the year and all the progress which they will make. It really is such a big year in reception, but it's so much fun, and it's amazing the progress that they make.
So, some of the other questions you might have are about the essentials of school life. So, thinking first of all about attendance and absence. So, we will encourage your child to attend wherever they can. If they are unwell and they need some time off, then there are several ways that you can report that to us as a school. We have a school app called My Ed, which you can send us a message on, or we have a school absence line that you can phone. If you request leave or absence for a holiday, then generally that request will be declined, as it will be in any school within Devon. That's our usual working policy across the county, particularly after your child turns 5. This means that unless it is a really special circumstance like a wedding abroad, for example, we will say that that's an unauthorised absence. In terms of uniform, you'll have lots of information about where you can get our uniform in your Welcome to School pack. And both of the stores, both of the companies we use to stock our uniform, take online orders as well, which hopefully, particularly at the moment, is useful for you all. We do always say to new starter parents, do make sure that uniform is labelled with your child's full name and ideally their class name as well, so that it can be returned to you easily and promptly. And we tend to say to label anything that your child may take off and lose, particularly as they're changing things like PE. So things like school socks are often something that is worth thinking about as well. In terms of lunches, currently all children in reception and Key Stage 1 have an entitlement to a free hot meal at lunch, and they can always choose between a meat option, a vegetarian option and a jacket potato with a variety of fillings, and that tends to be quite a good backup for many children. They can also bring a packed lunch from home, and that's absolutely fine too. One of the things that you'll know parents can register for is free school meals, and we can support you as a school if you feel you might be entitled to free school meals. What we've seen over the last couple of years is because all children are entitled to a free hot meal, that applications for free school meals have declined. But we would encourage you to register anyway, because school accesses funding through that can be spent on your child in class time as well. So do speak to your child's new class teacher or any of the senior leaders when you start with us in September if you think you might qualify for free school meals, and we'll support you with that application. In terms of homeschool communication, you will get every Friday a school newsletter, which is a kind of roundup update of everything that's going on around school, and also good reminders about key dates that are coming up. You'll also get a class learning letter from your child's teacher, and that will identify the learning your child's done in the week that's just finishing and the learning that's coming up in the next week, to support you to have conversations with them at home and to do things that might support or enrich that. Parents often ask about how they can get involved as part of the Sidmouth Primary family and part of our community, and there are lots of different ways you can do that. One of the key ways is to join our Parent Teacher Fundraising Association, who do raise much needed funds and have lots of fun in the process as well. There'll be information about how you can register your interest with them in your pack, and we'd really be grateful if lots of you could do that as well. But also, assuming that the guidance allows it, we're always really grateful for parents volunteering time to support us in school. For example, on welly walks or local visits, hearing children read in class, or even things like helping to sort library books or helping to sharpen pencils. Any extra pair of hands is always much appreciated. So, in conclusion, we hope that all of the information in this video has been helpful and not too overwhelming. Hopefully you can see there are lots of different ways that you can get in touch with us through the email or through the information on the website, or always email school if you've got any question. There is no question too big or too small. We're very, very happy to help, and we absolutely appreciate that this is a big step for you and for your child, and we're really keen to make everything work as smoothly and successfully as we can. I look forward to meeting you all very soon.